All right, welcome back to another live show. Hopefully, everyone can hear me. I think I have everything going on okay. Hopefully, everyone's doing good this week. God bless each and every one of you, and may the 4th be with you, as today is Star Wars Day, as those of us who are nerds like to say. So I'm gonna throw the link out here in a second. I got a couple video clips to show you guys and stuff to talk about. I gotta be honest, it wasn't as much stuff as I wanted because I have been exciting times in my life and I've been busy with good stuff. And let me pop up over here, get this over here, do this, get this chat copied, put in chat. Pretty much, we're gonna have a chill night and stuff. Anyone can come on again and talk about whatever. We got some videos and stuff to talk about. I just woke up because I had to tuck my son down, and he's at that age where he wants to fight sleep. So I had to lay down by him, and I passed out. Set my alarm, passed out, and man, the temptation just going back to sleep and skipping the show was it was there. Let me tell you, it was there just a little bit. But of course, we can't do that. We got plenty of sleep. Can sleep later. Got a pretty, hopefully, a good show. It kind of depends on who really shows up and joins, honestly. But I do have some clips, some variety of stuff, some some variety of stuff. Not as many as stuff as I wanted, but a lot of it is mainly just talking about humans and our reactions to situations that happen out there. A lot of people like to go Billy Badass, like they're out hunting Sasquatch, and they're having all these encounters, and they're doing this and they're doing that. And Robert, not into all the May the 4th thing. And people, the people who believe that they can speak to animals, and they feel the women that feel like they can be around bears and stuff like that. I mean, it's kind of hilarious that how human society has always been geared towards fellowship with animals and stuff. And I'm not saying you can't obviously have pets and have a really good friendship with those who you raised since they were cubs and stuff like that, or puppies and all that. But let me pop this up. When you're out in the wild, coming across wild things, they tend to do wild stuff, and we really are just lacking out there. So here's a little happy Star Wars Day funny moment, and this is typically what happens when people are facing 100-pound wild boar or a 200-pound wild boar, right? They're getting treed, they're running for their lives, they're trying not to die from this thing. And yet the same people who let's say face it, can't even run away from this thing, can't get away, can't defend themselves, would sit down and die from this are the same people who are gung-ho, going out in the bush, chasing after Bigfoot in the middle of the darkness. And some of these people, when I feel like they're talking to Bigfoot, or they take these pictures and there's Bigfoot behind every single blade of grass, the reality is when they face a real creature out there, a real wild one, this is going to be the reality. They're not going to be able to mind speak to the wild pig or the raccoon that is going to maul their face off because they're getting too close to its babies or whatever it is, you know. This is the real type of honest reaction that most people are going to have once they realize, oh shit, I don't have these special magic powers out there. I don't have this ability to talk to animals, to telepathically let them know how I'm feeling. And the reality is, people aren't really prepared to face that situation or any kind of situation where danger is involved. We have to actually do something physical, life threatening, while your adrenaline is pumping. You know, modern humans, when encountering stuff on the woods like that, are definitely assumed to be devolved and inadequate to be able to handle these situations and stuff. Most people would laugh nervously, run away, or fall down and cry. and and the reality is, you know, modern humans are so out of touch with the forest. That's why we give you know, Sasquatch and other things these magical personas and these magical abilities, because you know we don't live in the forest anymore, and we don't always encounter and experience these things, and we lost sight of even how to gather medicines, or what roots are medicines, what herbs are good to eat, you know. To be frank, if we had to go live back in the woods and stuff, there would be a whole lot of people that would be trying a whole lot of stuff that they did not know what would be good or bad for them. And we would have to pretty much relearn all of that all over again. I know there's a lot of people with a lot of knowledge, and there's probably plenty of books, but on average, the most common knowledge of all of our ancestral traits that helped us survive, we have certainly lost. And that's why we now, you know, we can talk to we have all these supernatural mythological ideas when it comes to anything that we encounter out in the forest, especially cryptid related, or something scary or unknown, or something that we fear, or something that's related to being in the dark and stuff, because our senses are out of whack. Because again, modern humans don't even live in the woods. We're not attuned to the woods. You know, it takes about a week of camping for you to, like, you know, dislodge yourself from your phone and sleep better, and you know, get your rhythm back to a more natural attunement. You know, it's kind of we're really at a disadvantage when it comes to trying to find these things when we're stuck on our phones and we're just distracted with TV, distracted with life, distracted with just everything, you know. You go out there, you don't have any patience, and you're getting ate up by bugs, and you know, it can be frustrating and stuff, and it's very daunting, and it's dangerous out in the woods. And I just like to reaffirm that you know, there's other animals out there, not even just boars, but regular animals that, you know, are can be curious. Maybe they haven't encountered humans before, and you back them up a corner, or you get too close, and all of a sudden they'll attack. And you can watch plenty of these videos. We're going to start showing some of these animal attack videos of even small animals, you know. I mean, I'm sure plenty of you guys know, when you mess with a cat too much, playing even, you know, starts getting cranky, or you see these cat videos where you know, a full grown, you know, not 10-pound cat, not even 10-pound cat, can mess up, scare, and intimidate and back down grown ass men, grown ass people, you know. And then, you know, we're going out in the woods and we're chasing after 1,000-pound animal, and you know, you're gonna hear some stories. You're gonna hear a clip today of you know, interesting stuff, and it's like the reality of what's actually happening out there versus the fantasy narrative storytelling is, there's big and far wide gap the size of the Grand Canyon going on. And there's too much bullshit in the world going on with this stuff, and it's really time to just trim the fat, cut the fat. You know, we need to purify ourselves, remove this stuff from the system, because it's not helping. It's just it's creating these loopholes of never-ending whoop-de-loo, Looney Tune, anything goes. We might as well just be chasing ghosts out there, like Pat said the other day on his show. What if we're just out there conjuring spirits with, basically a whoop and two knocks and doop-de-doop and stuff? I mean, basically, might as well with all the pictures and Woo Town and all the other stuff, because it's it's very relatable. A lot of the same type of people and characteristics of people seem to be pop up in these UFO fields, the Bigfoot fields, the ghost paranormal fields, whatever kind of odd, cryptid, weird, behind the veil type of oddities. Always attracts strange people or people who are eccentric out there, or who have warped fantasy ideas and who carry it to the next level and can't distinguish fantasy from reality. Load up this other next video. I had a great week and stuff. Busy. And fantastic weekend so far. So let's see, which one should we do next? Oh yeah, that's right. I never did get to the other video in time. That's okay. I don't know which one to show first. All right, so so I really feel like this kind of next clip is a good representation of real researchers, and everyone's struggle. Really is. It kind of is a representation of our struggle out there with finding Bigfoot, honestly. And again, this is pretty cute. It's gonna be a nice chill stream and kind of some cute videos I got. Let me pop this up. I'm doing a bazillion things at once. Okay. We got Mr. James Grave in. How's it going? Let me add you to the stream real quick. Can you hear me?
Cool, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. What's up, man?
Nothing much. Just wanted to say, yeah, when Timmy Turner there is trying to go after everybody, claiming that he's gonna sue everybody and all this stuff. For whatever reason, he's trying to take a go at me. I got some cyber stalkers. They go to him, give him some information. Now, because when he mentioned the person, because I watched one of your videos where you stated that you were sleeping under a tarp and stuff. Well, the person that he was mentioning that had a criminal record, I had a scuffle with some security guys at a mall. So I'm the guy he's talking about.
Oh, nice. It's just kind of hard to pinpoint him, since he's always ranting and raving about multiple people with multiple different nicknames.
Exactly. And he's lumping everybody into one, as if we're, one amalgamation of an entity that's just trying to devour his poor little, crusade of telling the truth. And it's like, dude, you're such a liar. You're fake. You're phony. Everybody has the same story about you. Every single person that takes a go at this guy keeps saying the same thing about him. He's a liar. He's a grifter. He's a phony. And the next,
for those of you who don't know, we're talking about Wolf Boy, Mr. Josh Turner, right now, because for references and stuff, we like to drop actual names and stuff. But yeah, that's why it kind of came on my radar, is the drama and stuff. And again, just pointing that out as another subsection of this community of, you have these people who I think Josh kind of uses this therapy from his family issues, and he just makes up stories as a way to, have all this community behind him and stuff. It says his support, his family, and he will definitely fight tooth and nail to defend anyone he perceives as a threat to take down from his monetization, money-making schemes, in my opinion,
Yep.
Well,
I mean,
I
like I said, everybody's got the same story. The other one to watch out for is Hellbent Holler, because they got angry because I called their little video of the thing jumping from tree to tree is just a leaf, literally. If you slow it down and you look at it, it's literally a leaf.
We got that
And
video on here, actually. Yeah.
I made fun of them and said, yeah, they're going to cry over their little leaf foot, Don't make fun of leaf foot, so, because they get upset over that. But I just wanted to hop on real quick and just let you know, Turner's got some serious mental issues and he needs some help. And he's going to continue to try to sue everybody as he proclaims himself to be, Mr. Holier than thou and all this other stuff. And people just need to be aware of what type of person he is. So,
has he been ranting and raving lately or crying? Because it seems like it's a cycle. He'll get angry and then he'll try to make peace, beg for forgiveness, and and then talk about their redemption of their souls, and then he'll get into the crying, and then he'll circle back around. And I've actually seen him do this at least twice, 3 times now. I haven't watched him. I haven't watched him this past couple weeks, but he was going hard and foaming at the mouth.
Well, man, my signal's kind of going in and out, so I'm gonna head off. But just wanted to, give you some heads up on what that was about and stuff. Keep having a great show, brother.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on and voicing your opinion.
See you later, man.
All right, see ya. All right, thanks for joining and voicing your opinion and stuff. Of course, I share the same opinion as him, as that this Josh Wolf character is just drama filled, pushing and peddling fantasy, really, and really making violent threats against people. He typically likes to threaten people, like he'll get in a fight, or if we get in dark alley, the indication that he would mess people up, and I actually did record him saying he would show up, and if he did something, if he showed up, we would never know. It's just dumb, because a real person who can actually do stuff and hurt people and fight, they don't brag. They don't want to bully other people and stuff, because it's not cool and stuff. It's kind of dumb. It's not something that makes people who actually know how to fight feel powerful and stuff. And actually, most of the times, the people who don't know how to fight feel very scared and weak, who need to push this feeling of, oh, I can beat your ass, I'm this Billy badass guy, I'm tough, on everyone around them, because they feel so scared and insecure about themselves. It's not difficult to fight, or especially if you to fight someone who's untrained and all that. It's not even anything to brag about. You should actually humble yourself very deeply and stuff, because and most fighters and stuff, and most training camps and most martial arts think like that. It's only jackass, really low IQ thinking, mentally unstable people that really have a need to keep threatening to fight and beat up people, especially if they've actually been trained. And because I know in certain states and stuff, depending on how trained you are, you have to register as would be considered a deadly weapon. So you can't just willy-nilly, make threats like that, especially if that is the case. So let's show this video. And that was a good random moment and stuff. I kind of like these live shows, don't have to you don't even have to everything you say and jump on can be totally disagreeable, and you can be critiquing me, giving me some advice and stuff. It's totally cool. That's what this open chat is for. But this particular video, I feel, is us trying to find Bigfoot, and it's keeps show just right there in our face. We're having these encounters, or it's almost on our fingertips of trying to get the evidence and trying to, you know, trying to get good enough stuff to be satisfied that when you share it around the whole community, it's accepted as, oh my gosh, yeah, this is something, something a little bit more than the usual decades old treatment of evidence, whatever caliber of evidence that we get. It's always just whack. And it's right there in our face, and we're just so confused. We're not able to just grasp it. We're like, how come Bigfoots seem like they can disappear? They're not going in portals, but at the same time, the answer's in our face and we're not observing it. And since we have not observed it, really, we don't understand it. And since we don't understand it, we're putting all these mystical or paranormal, supernatural, or super heightened abilities and stuff, which we just, as modern humans, we're just not able to comprehend it. And this is pretty much the example of it. It's right in our face, bobbing right up and down, begging almost for us to just grab a hold of it. But at the same time, we are fumbling around, indecisive. We can't agree on anything as a community. Can't really come together. It's really hard to actually. It's really good. It's really hard to come together as a community when there is such real big differences. I think actually Central Florida Bigfoot is a great person who actually bridged that gap pretty good, having all sides come together and having very interesting results and having a cohesive mindset, at least when you're performing the compound and stuff. You're not having people chasing shadows that are clearly shadows in fantasy land over here, while real people are having real stuff happen. It seems like people are in the like actual reality of mindset and prepared for what could actually happen and when stuff did happen. So much different than some of the people, I would say, like Matthew Johnson, who would fully engulf you into the Zorb, Zoth, whatever the frick alien Bigfoot name he names it. That whole ideology and priming, and Zorth is over here, and there's something that happens naturally that will help correspond to, yeah, there's the Bigfoot right there. Didn't you just hear that? You did have those people. I mean, from what I've heard from your interviews and stuff, it didn't seem like they were like leading anyone into a fantasy adventure of full delusion and stuff. Like, it seems like you guys actually had some real activity and stuff. And then I'm sure they're going to have their own narrative about it. But at the same time, it was actually pretty interesting. It's a great idea and something I wouldn't mind trying. But the certain kind of people that you be able to have to trust, even though they're on that far woo fantasy side. I mean, some of them are, great people and they're harmless. They're just, they're just on that side, they're great people. And you could trust them and stuff in the sense that, they're not going to hoax people. They're not going to lie about stuff. They're going to be honest about what they feel and what they perceive. But you can trust them. Like, they're not going to, do anything nefarious and stuff. So that is the biggest thing. If you're going to try to get on all sides, is just get someone you can trust that isn't going to really be nefarious and hoaxing. They can be on the whole other side of the Grand Canyon on beliefs, but you got to be able to trust them that they're not going to fake stuff, because that will jeopardize and derail everything. Because you want reality to happen. You want, like what happened in Florida, they were open to whatever different interpretations, different beliefs, but when reality struck and weird stuff starts happening, that's the golden stuff. That's the evidence. That's the data that we need to interpret to figure out, okay, well, the sounds that you're hearing, these audio, these vocalizations, the footsteps, whatever it is, we're trying to determine if this is Bigfoot activity. If it is, then we need to try to associate these sounds more around the country, so we can standardize. Oh, okay, well, this muttering chatter sounds samurai chatter. We're picking it up here, we're picking it up there. Alex and Brian and Chewy and Max, I think it was Max and Chewy, they heard the mumbling, a little bit of that and stuff. Certain things that when they start happening and it's real, you don't need that fantasy side, the fantasy crap, that's when it becomes just to the point where when real stuff is actually happening and you have people you can trust, and it doesn't matter their belief, then you're able to capture the evidence. You're not going to have to worry about other people hoaxing it, interfering with it, jeopardizing it, or just being uncontrollable and stuff, so they hear a response and all of a sudden I'm going to rip up these trees and snap, and I'm going to make a holler, I'm going to act aggressive. And you got all these 20 other people who are like, no, please don't do that. Don't do that. And you can't control those people. That's an issue too. You got to have people that will listen, not do dumbass things, follow the rules, and not just, be lone wolf and decide, what, we're getting Bigfoot activity, guys. Got to kick it over overdrive, got to piss them off, get them in closer and try to get a reaction, and potentially drive them away instead of being calm, cool, and collective and just see what happens. And that's a big thing is the trust factor. So, but again, I do think a lot of these answers when it comes to the Bigfoot question, the Bigfoot problem that we're trying to solve I think it's really in our face, really. We just, for some reason, we're not, it's not clicking. We're not observing it firsthand. So it's becoming an issue. All right. So I got to make one more video up, 2 videos up. I guess there's a couple. It's a couple different photographs, all from one person, actually. So let me hurry up and do this one real quick. And I thought this video was pretty interesting. I kind of had some fun making this up real quick. Central Florida Bigfoot says, we didn't make knocks or whoops for the first 2 days. I wanted it to be a normal camp. Yeah, a little bit controlled. Move that. Yeah, that's kind of how we do. It's usually when like nothing's going on and nothing's happening, then it's like, okay, let's kind of reach into the bag and get some desperation out and do a wood knock and whoop. And up here, a low whoop, the opposite of a call blast, but a low whoop that is loud enough, has got some pretty interesting results. Actually, tree knocks have actually got consistent results, or just hearing wood knocks as a response to us being in the area that we hear, or just captured on the audio. We have several different over the last couple of years, several different wood knocks in different seasons at different places. Let me do this real quick, but I'm gonna get this other video up and playing because it's another funny video. And then we have a very interesting encounter clip that I am just blown away by. So I'm sure you guys will be too. And so, this next clip is kind of just makes me think, what are learned behaviors that Sasquatch have that are from observing modern people or observing humans. It's my belief, in the last 100 years, especially, or since the Industrial Revolution, Sasquatch just watched from the horse-drawn carriage and buggy to automobiles to factories to mega cities, and even now the decline of cities. Like in Michigan, Detroit, where they had a very a massive growth period, and then you see Detroit actually become in the decline, and actually the population has fluctuated drastically. And adapting, my belief, adapting to modern people, modern human routines. I wonder what other learned behaviors that they've adopted from interacting with modern humans and using observation and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't. Let's see if this is loaded. Nope. I don't know why I didn't do that. All right, here we go. Yeah, play this clip, edit, and do this at the same time. So here's a great example of a learned behavior from a gorilla. Let's just see if you understand. And what is the result? What is the learned behavior? What do you think? Learned behavior, the gorilla is getting picked on and bugged, and people look at him all day. And, he's learned that, hey, if I run over there and stick my butt in a kid's face, they tend not to like that. It makes them upset and cry, and they run away. And guess what? Probably makes that gorilla feel happy. How many times do you think he's done that to learn? Like, hey, stick my butt in that face. And that little kid just gets set off. And he's learned, well, let me try that again. Let me do that again. Let me do that again. And guess what? I'm pretty sure that it's something that gorilla does quite often to kids because, it's a common result. So, what's some of these learned behaviors that Sasquatch do from interacting with humans? Well, you tend to throw rocks at people. It seems to scare them out of the woods. Okay. Instead of violently interacting with them firsthand, this is a subtle approach. You can just throw stuff without being detected, without a direct conflict of violence, being hurt. You can just, push them out of the area, with some calls and, instead of brute force, most unintelligent animals, either run or attack if they're cornered and stuff. But, not many strategize and think about, well, how can I still get this person out of this area without direct conflict, violence, and minimal amount of effort and stuff. It's highly intelligent for a Sasquatch to be able to do that and to understand, and to do it with guns. People have guns and stuff, they understand what guns are, the point, understand, I'm sure that, when humans look at places, wherever our heads are pointing, we're looking at stuff. Wherever the gun is pointing and it goes bang, that is where the damage is done and stuff. It's kind of a no-brainer for a highly intelligent animal. It's more intelligent than a gorilla, right? To observe things and have learned behavior from observation, especially since, in my opinion, I think that's all they do is sit on their butt and observe everything, and then take the opportunities to interact with whatever's going around, using the minimal amount of effort and energy to just sit and observe and watch stuff. And I mean, if you could just watch and really don't really have to move that much and scare a person out of the whole woods, you're not violently directly attacking them, wasting valuable resources, causing injury, causing more people to show up with more guns, with more dogs, and people searching the woods and causing more issues and drama and stuff. I mean, to me, it seems like they're highly intelligent. They learn a very sophisticated way to deal with modern humans, which is, we just play these little tricks on them and they get wigged out, or we just show ourselves a little bit and they get wigged out and they run away. Leaves them time to think, observe, critique what goes on, strategize, have little tactics instead of constantly brute force Neanderthal type violently attacking, and that is a very short road of severe consequences instead of this slight scary approach of throwing rocks. Has a lot of benefits, a lot of time, a lot of unneeded conflict that is avoided, just because of the subtle approach. And it gives them time to observe people, because if they can hide from people and they can subtly do these things and scare them off, and they don't have to worry about modern people's even noticing them or shooting at them or attacking them and bringing out war. Well, they can sit down and observe people camping. They can see modern humans interacting with their families, interacting with camping equipment, with whatever. When they're looking inside windows, what do you think they're doing? Staring at their next meal, looking at you, staring and drooling over their next meal because they want to eat you? Or they're looking around, looking at what you're doing. How are you interacting? Watching the TV and stuff, doing a bunch of different stuff. Do you think there's some dumb animal that's just what? Sniffing the air, waiting for its next meal? But looking at you, thinking, oh, you're a tasty meat I want to devour? What? Looking at your dog, your cat, thinking, oh, that's my next meal? Maybe. Maybe if one doesn't like dogs, you might think, next time I catch that little dog outside, if I'm a little hungry, it might be a little snack. Yeah, in my opinion, though, they most of the time, they're observing and stuff. And when you have an animal that doesn't have to worry about food all the time, doesn't have to worry about warfare all the time, doesn't have to stress as much and constantly be at work, running and getting food and gathering resources, and you'd never have time, right? If you have time to sit down, relax, and use your brain and think, and start using it more and more and more, you start actually utilizing it and growing that brain, right? Evolving that brain, evolving your observation skills. And that's what I think has happened, especially in the last, since the North American content with the Europeans and stuff. Since the European colonialism and colonization of America, we Sasquatches, as I would assume, have seen many different changes come to pass, and has either they have to, and this is a population thing, either they had to quickly adapt to this change, several different major changes in the last 250 plus years or 400 years, really. And either they had to adapt to this change to thrive and survive and have a high population number where everyone's encountering them, or they're not adapting that good and they're not surviving right into modern times, and they're low population numbers, which would not make sense for why so many people are seeing them. I know me and Pat talked about the population numbers, and I kind of threw out some numbers out there, but I think the numbers pretty much are, for every 2 bear, there could be 1 Sasquatch, or there could be 2 to 1, 2 Sasquatch for every 1 bear, because bears are not as intelligent as Sasquatch, 100%. The bear ranges in Michigan, for example, there's, 20,000 bears, black bears. They're not here in lower Michigan. They're not, in some of these places where Sasquatch sightings are historically been recorded and stuff. Especially since black bears are not highly intelligent. They don't sit at windows and observe you. They don't do the same characteristic stuff that we see Sasquatch doing when interacting with humans, black bears rely on instincts in nature to reproduce and to mate and to live and to avoid humans. Sasquatches seem to be more intelligent, can strategize, plan, have tactics, maybe even have a little bit better social structure to be able to deal with the influx of modern humans and then breeding problems and breeding strategies and stuff. So to think that their numbers are low, I mean, for what reason? What would let's what would be the reason why these numbers would be low, especially in modern times? Because modern people, we're not hunting them, right? Let's say even if the Native Americans almost hunted them to all extinction, and since the white man has wiped out most of the Native Americans in the last, especially in the last 100 years, conservation efforts in almost all the continental U.S. has seen an exponential growth of all forests, animals, and natural just wildlife in general, back to levels not seen in the previous 100 years and stuff. We pretty much cut down all the trees in lower Michigan, and now, of course, in the last 100 years and stuff, they've replanted and we've restored almost all the forest. And I think we're at like 53% forested here in Michigan. You're never 4 miles from any major water source in Michigan. So this idea that they're struggling and there's low population, well, why? What would be the reason? Because they're not thriving, they're not able to adapt to modern humans. That could be a reason. I think that they are able to, though, because modern humans are doing the exact opposite of what we did 200 years ago. We're not, basically, unless you're in the rural country, you're not chopping firewood. You're not burnt up in the middle of the night putting more, firewood in the fireplace, getting more stuff outside, or doing chores outside at nighttime or early morning stuff. You don't even have to stand guard your property for bandits or intruders or anything else that might be roaming the darkness. Everyone's in bed at 10 o'clock watching TV, snoozing. The lights turned off and the whole property is, there's some booger lights out there, but there's no one out there. So this idea that, what would be the reason that the populations are in decline? It's just a rare and elusive animal and populations were already low. Well, I mean, their populations should be gaining more and more then, because our government and stuff and conservation efforts are giving them plenty of wildlife spaces and natural protected areas too. And so there should be an increase of growth, since we have an increase of deer population, turkey population, pheasant population in Michigan. I can only speak in Michigan because, we early 1900s and late 1800s, we hunted a lot of species to the brink here in Michigan, and a lot of pesticides and insecticides that we sprayed that messed up the bald eagles and stuff and polluted the environments and stuff and took out a lot of wildlife and waterfowl birds and stuff. That's all bounced back. The population, the numbers, you can look, has increased so much. There used to be, I hear stories sometimes of the old guys talking about when they were young and stuff, that there was no turkeys this far south in Michigan. There's hardly any turkeys. And now there's turkeys everywhere. And some places they're running through the city. So same thing with pheasants and different animals. So in my opinion, I think there's a healthy population, in Michigan. If it's there could be 10,000 Bigfoots in Michigan if it's half the population of bear. Even 5,000 if it was one for every couple bear. And but if the population is more, in my opinion, it would help point why people and our crew and myself has experienced different stuff in Michigan at different places at random times. But until we actually have full observation, we're not going to know. So let's get on to the next video. And I'll play this one more time because it's kind of cute. I thought it was funny. And I love gorillas. I think it's hilarious. They're smart. They are intelligent, right? They learn stuff. They problem solve. And when we're talking about Sasquatch, we're talking about a whole nother level of intelligence, right? And it's, smarter than a gorilla, but, we like to assume that it's not as smart as modern humans. But in terms of, as we call street smarts or wood smarts, it is definitely a lot smarter than us when it comes to the wood smarts, right? but it's definitely smarter than a gorilla, right? And we like to say, well, it's under the intelligence of a modern human, but it's in between there, and it's smart enough not to be detected, and it's, smart enough to, in my opinion, learn behaviors using strategies of least resistance, energy conservation, and to do all that, and to be, confident enough to be able to throw a rock at a person with a gun and be confident enough to scare them out of the woods without being shot at and, injuring yourself. That's a pretty learned behavior that you've practiced for a long time, especially if they're all kind of feel comfortable about doing that. Seems like, they're pretty good in the understanding of how people work when we're out in the woods. Again, where we're facing, what we can see, how we can hear, how well we can react to stuff, how far we can hear stuff, how close a Sasquatch can get before people start reacting to noises or even the feeling of something is there. A whole different variety of stuff, anything that's ever been done in the woods that could be observed by Sasquatch, they're probably trying to understand what is going on with a piece of technology. Like a trail camera, they watch a person set the trail camera up and they're thinking, well, what the heck does it do? And they see an animal go in front of it. All of a sudden you can hear it click and make some noises and light up. And you got to realize it's not like we just invented trail cameras and we just threw them out in the digital age and it has all the gizmos and gadgets. No, like we've thrown the very most primitive type of game cameras out in the woods, and they've observed game camera technology evolved, and they've watched people do the exact same thing, set these things up, and when something goes in front of it, it starts making these clicky noises, and all of a sudden this decades later, they're making the same clicky noises, but now they're lighting up. Now they flash. Now they got lights on them and stuff. What it's not. It's kind of a no brainer of why they avoid them, and they've literally seen the very first ones being used all the way to modern ones. I mean, they've kind of learned to evolve with them. So we're not giving them enough credit through their observation of humans and what we do and the technologies we're using, the technologies that we try to use out in the woods and stuff. It's not like we have some brand new off the wall prototype that the world's never seen, a gizmo gadget that no one, Bigfoot, nothing knows what it can do. We develop something like that, they're not going to know what the hell it does. Catch them off guard. Or we can think outside of the box and stuff like, camera traps inside of coolers and stuff. I think that's a very interesting idea. I think normal everyday items, like those pop cans that, they open up and they're little storage devices, you can have something like that. It's a normal everyday item that, Bigfoot's like a peanut butter jar, and they're going to open up that peanut butter jar and then open it up and bam, there's a little trail camera, there's a little GPS going on, there's a live action camera hooked up to the internet that's just, as soon as that top goes off, it turns on and it's filming. We need something out of the box like that to trick them, to get them on camera and audio. And so kind of a little strategy I've been thinking is, honestly, just putting some audio recorders in the peanut butter jars with a Apple AirPod, so you can track the peanut butter jar if it gets taken, right? And then, have the audio running and stuff, and you can get some audio recorders that can last a long time, can run for several hours, and maybe we have a big enough peanut butter jar and some battery banks and little plastic bags to make sure it doesn't corrupt the devices. We can get a device that can run a whole week, 24 hours nonstop with an Apple AirTag in there, and you set it out there for a trap, and then bam, it gets taken. Of course, after a week, you have to go and, change the recorder or put the batteries in or whatever. But if it gets taken, the audio recorder's running, and you have that Apple AirTag going, and you can see on your phone, whoa, that's it just went 5 miles this way, and it looks like it's in the middle of a lake or something, or under the lake or in a stream or whatever, you know, there's several different awesome data points that we could use to our advantage and to our for the data. But I think we need something like that, something off the wall, something that we trick them. It could be through this gifting stuff. There could be simple everyday items, camping items that are just traps that so when they get moved and stuff, there's a device under it that, in my opinion, you'd have to have the device kind of already set up, ready to go, prepped before you take it out onto the table. Because if you put it onto the camping table and you're like, oh, I'm just going to open the device up and put all the gizmos in it and crank it back up, there's a chance that they're there and they're observing you doing that. And it's not going to work, right? So you should have something you can set up at home, already prepped up, ready to go, even turned on. Because if it's going to run a whole week nonstop, just turn it on before you even go. What's a couple extra hours? And we need to try to trick them like that, I think, in my opinion. We need to do some stuff outside of the box stuff. We're not thinking properly. We're not doing it properly. Whatever we've been doing, it's not working to the degree that we need it to work. So we need to come up with new things. Mr. Barry Browning, good guy, says, I know in Missouri, MS, most every game animal was hunted to extinction early last century. Yep. My mom was born in 1934, and she said they never saw a deer, squirrel, rabbit, etc. near their home in rural MS. And that was a lot of places, and the Depression had a lot to do with that also in Mississippi. A lot of places like that, a lot of places, because of the Depression and the caustic chemicals and everything, there's honestly, in the early 1900s and the 1930s, 1920s, especially, America was on the brink of chemical disaster, natural disasters with pollution in a lot of different states. And luckily, with a lot of efforts and stuff, through the conservation efforts, we went a whole 180 degrees. Now we've restored the forests and we regenerated the land as much as possible. There's still a lot of pollution going on. And in Michigan, there's flame retardant chemicals that are big issues that are in water sources, that are in roads, that are and there are some chemicals and stuff that were in the salt leaching into supplies that is not good. That it really makes me think that's more of an issue that Bigfoot would face in modern times, and seems like other stuff is polluted water sources or polluted animal species. Another thing I'd like to think about is chronic wasting disease or prion diseases in deer. And there's some studies coming out that it does not look pretty good. Like some of these prion diseases might be able to be spread through the eating of venison over years of doing it, of course. I actually seen on Missing 411, Mr. David Politis was talking about CWD, and he said he was saying that maybe some of these people who have Alzheimer's and stuff are suffering from some of that prion disease. But there's a lot of different combinations of stuff that seem like it's causing Alzheimer's in people or dementia-like symptoms, and it's not any particular one source of it, in my opinion. All right, so let me play this. Let me see if this other thing's done first. It's not, because I forgot to do a couple things. That's all right. We got a special clip that we're going to show right now. We get downloaded real quick. A special clip of. Honestly, I have no idea. I have no idea who the dude is. It just It was on Untold Radio, and I don't know whose show it was on and stuff. I really want to watch it and stuff because I know it's going to be a gold and juicy show full of expertise and professionalism, professional integrity, honest research, and undeniable facts. As we're about to find out just from this little clip, as you know, it it just makes me scratch my head in disbelief. Give me 1 second. Oh man, this is just unbelievable. So let's just take a listen. I want you guys to just honestly just listen. I give, of course, my opinion and stuff after.
I'm just estimating, but I've probably had around 500 encounters, and most of them are within like 10 feet. And it was so funny because he'd gone on that trip with you and I, and up on Pikes Peak, and that was we had some stuff happen there, but nothing like really in your face. It was very subtle, which typically happens up there. But when they get more familiar, I mean, they're like playing with zippers on your tent, and they don't care. They will. I've actually had them drag me across the ground in my tent with my wife and my dogs in the tent and pull up all the stakes. I mean, people don't realize what this really happened.
Well, you heard it there, folks. I'm just gonna play it again. Let's just listen to it one more time.
I'm just estimating, but I've probably had around 500 encounters, and most of them are within like 10 feet. And it was so funny because he'd gone on that trip with you and I, and up on Pikes Peak, and that was we had some stuff happen there, but nothing like really in your face. It was very subtle, which typically happens up there. But when they get more familiar, I mean, they're like playing with zippers on your tent, and they don't care. They will. I've actually had them drag me across the ground in my tent with my wife and my dogs in the tent and pull up all the stakes. I mean, people don't realize what this really happened.
I gotta gotta meet that dude. 500 encounters, most of them 10 feet away. He got him, his wife, and a dog were in a tent, and a Bigfoot grabbed the tent and dragged him across the ground. Yeah, buddy. Where's your evidence? Oh, well, to be honest, I haven't really looked and watched the whole show, so maybe he got some evidence. I don't know. Maybe he got the best evidence in the whole entire world, better than Patterson footage. Anyone want to make some bets on that, though? Is anyone willing to bet that he actually has some good quality evidence that is going to blow people away, that can help prove his stories? Any number of those several hundred that he has, and he must be the expert. Obviously, he is obviously he's the expert. He's the most professional Bigfoot researcher I've ever come across, I've ever heard. Clearly, we are all lacking, and he is doing absolutely everything the right way. It's kind of bullshit that is so frustrating, and that it's allowed. I'm going to be honest. Like Pat would say, Doug's a good guy. He's smart. Did the whole Monster Quest thing, got a lot of people into this. Takes a scientific approach. Seems like I would like to think, a reliable person that you want to get opinions from. Hey, I got this evidence. What the heck do you think this is? But at the same time, when you're allowing people who say, "Oh, I have 500 encounters, most of them are 10 feet away. Me, my wife, and my dog got in a tent and dragged by Bigfoot," it's like, and this is what we have to deal with, I think, is, are we going to be researchers or are we going to be entertainers, content creators, are in it for that, because how can you say, I'm a researcher with honest integrity who takes this seriously when you're promoting people like that who, what? Okay, so people watch that and people contact them and they want to go out with them and say, hey, you know what? That dude doesn't charge any money, but they're going to donate money to him, and they're going to go out and guess what? They're going to go out in the woods and, believe everything and trust him, right? They're going to put their trust, their safety into that guy's hands who's had 500 encounters. And you think that's a reliable person that you should put your safety into? Because when you're going to someone else's area, their woods that they know and stuff, they know where the hazards are, you put your trust in them, especially if you've never met that person. And when you have people who are peddling that bullshit fantasy and they're lying to you and stuff, that's not a good foundation to start off trust on, or having your safety be involved when very fabric foundation that that dude's whole identity is based off is a lie. Like I said, I expect that guy to go run into a boar and start jumping up a tree and being scared of every little thing. Or if he actually had a real encounter with Bigfoot, I wonder how he would actually respond. Since he has 500 different encounters and experiences to draw from, I'm sure he's one of the calmest, coolest, collected people in the woods while rocks are being thrown at him. But I don't know. Maybe he has more... Clearly, that guy has the record for number of encounters, right? 500 encounters. 500 encounters. I think Chris Reinhardt has the record number of rocks being thrown, right? He says he has 93 rocks that were thrown at him over the course of his researching days. Probably has jumped up a couple numbers, but it's this these fools that are being pushed and propped up on these shows, like, oh yeah, they're someone of someone who has any experience, someone who has any knowledge, someone who is actually of any real and honestly value of the subject themselves, because they're content creators. What Chris has discovered Bigfoot's, it's on Untold Radio because he plays good host. He can, whoop-de-doo, la la la. I've been gifting. He said, I was watching the other show one day and he's, gifting this and that and just unbelievable stuff. And it's like, come on, man, this is ridiculous. Can't prove any of it. And that's why we need this. We need to cut the bullshit out. Like, this is ridiculous. This is getting to a point where, people are going to get hurt. People already have got hurt with Dr. Matthew Johnson, but people are going to get hurt because of the lack of common sense safety when they're out with these people. Some of these people, even by calling these people out, could have a meltdown and freak out and just go, do a bunch of crazy stuff, land themselves in prison, or just, beyond onto the next side of the world. I think that, because there's some mental illnesses going on, like the comment from the person who jumped on the show. I think it was James, talking about Wolf, how he's kind of unstable and has mental issues. And in my opinion, I agree with that. And, you throw these threats down and, you have a fan base that, like Josh says I'm some soulless, godless, non-Christian, person, and some part of some evil cabal, who's, he describes, he lumps me into this group, and same with that person. And while he'll talk to about people, other people using voodoo on him, using spiritual warfare, sending spirits at his house, he's getting attacked spiritually and stuff. And he's lumping me in there, calling me a non-Christian, part of this evil, satanic cabal. In his own words, he literally says this. And you could have some mentally deranged followers of his who really believe that and want to go on some holy crusade and, want to off some of these cabal members who are messing with Wolf. You reach a high enough population of masses, you can reach a high enough crazy people, and one of those people might act and do something crazy, right? That's a very good possibility when we're dealing with this subject and the people of it, because some of the people who seem to gravitate towards these type of things are, people who are struggling in life, people who, everyone has issues. Everyone struggles with a lot of things, right? There's a lot of very nice people, but it seems like a lot of people who struggle with different things, or who have, who just can't help to fall for this cult mentality, the storytelling, the entertainment, and then you have people who prey on those people. You have the predators who will prey on this, just people who just want to find the truth, but they're, a little wacky doodle, and they're taking pictures of a tree in their backyard, and they know there's no Bigfoot, right? You will have predators who will prey on those people because, the predator will say, well, I'm the gatekeeper of knowledge. I know everything, I know, like Josh, for example, well, a vampire talks to him, he interviews vampires. He interviews warlocks and voodoo priests, or, everything, people who are dogman, people who are, demon slayers or witches or whatever, random Google, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. It's all made up bullshit. And people believe it, though, So when you have that level of belief and fantasy and delusion, and people who can say all this crap, fantasy crap, and make up, and then people believe it, and that same person says, well, this person right here is part of this evil satanic cabal, and they're sending evil spirits to Josh's house, and they're fucking with them and stuff. Like, you're going to have some Looney Tune people believe that and maybe act upon that. And like with Matthew Johnson, Zorth could heal you. You don't need to take your medications prescribed by the doctors. Zorth will heal you. What do you think is the cause? What do you think is going to be the effect of that? And the example is, well, supposedly that person passed away earlier because he wasn't taking his medication like he was supposed to, right? That's a real issue, We have some cult members, all it takes is some Looney Tune to do something crazy, and you know what? They're gonna put some regulations. They're gonna be putting some stops. They're gonna make it extra hard. YouTube's gonna put some extra rules for content creators that you can't do this. You can't say this stuff. You can't be drinking the Kool-Aid and calling people, for example, like Josh says, evil cabal, you're doing this and doing that and lumping everyone together, hyping people up and getting people to become, well, you just go look in the chats and stuff. You just look at the raving, mad, foaming at the mouth support of nonsense when Josh claims that people are in this satanic cabal doing this evil satanic stuff. You just look at the comments who agree in what they're saying and stuff. People don't use their brain, and if they have a brain to use, they certainly lack common sense. So no one else wants to join. It's only been an hour. Man, time is going by super slow. Usually when I look up, it's been 2 hours and stuff, and put the link in the chat. Someone else can come on. I'm going to hurry up and get this last little video chopped up, ready to go, as we're going to just take a look at some more, just pictures of Bigfoot, supposedly, nothing too crazy, but just more the stuff that we're dealing with, and when we actually have real incredible stuff that happens, everyone doesn't want to believe it, or just dismisses it, or doesn't want to look at it and stuff like that. So a video I want to try to get up by next week. Hopefully, depends on really how work goes and how how much time I spend doing other stuff. I'm trying to make a compilation of all the evidence, supposed evidence, in our opinion, some interesting things that we've caught, captured, and experienced in the woods. We're going to try to put it in one big video for you guys. So it'll be evidence of wood knocks, vocalizations, stuff that we've seen. Maybe some eye shine clips and stuff, different stuff that we've got that I think is pretty interesting. Might lean towards the Bigfoot side of things, or is consistent with what most people would consider Bigfoot activity. I'm going to try to put a big old video out of all of the stuff that we have captured over the last couple of years. As right now as a essential place to have it all in one big video reference, instead of having all these little pieces in different videos and different live shoots I'm showed. I'm just gonna have one big video clip of it all, and take a look at it. So and hopefully get this audio recorder out here another week or two. I accidentally just have to order it, but I could order the mics, and then I'm gonna buy a dash cam, I guess. I was debating on going the Sony or Tascam route, but I think I'm just gonna try the other brand and go Tascam, and then get the audio out so that I can just have that going nonstop, and then got some camping stuff planned, got some outings planned, got some. Actually, gonna go with a paranormal group, and we're gonna do a Bigfoot. We're gonna be doing our Bigfoot thing while they're doing their paranormal thing at the same time in the same area, and we're gonna see what kind of results we're gonna get. So, different mindsets, different beliefs. They're going after ghosts, paranormal activity. We're going after Bigfoot stuff. So, we're going to spread out to different areas of this big spot, and compare notes of what happened, and it's going to be kind of interesting. So yep. I think that's just how the indoctrination of the school system has made it, is where you listen to the authority, or you waiting for that standardized test. It's the status quo, instead of thinking for yourself, thinking out of the box, thinking out of the norm and stuff, and utilizing your brain, critically thinking. Yep. Same for me, living in Michigan most of my life. I also had some really good elementary school teachers that made many subjects, including geography, very interesting to learn. And I would say the same thing too. My awesome, I didn't mean to do that. I had an awesome fourth grade teacher who, again, we learned about Michigan history, Native American culture, and it was awesome. It was a heavy influence, because I check out library books on Native American stuff, and heavy influence on, and heavy influence on the Native American aspect in my life, and the Bigfoot aspect too. Because if I didn't read all those books, I don't think I would start checking out John Green's Bigfoot book that we had in our school system, and reading all the different stories. And I remember the one story, there was this person who said he observed two Sasquatches wrestling, practicing wrestling and stuff, not fighting and stuff, but actual practicing what looked like Greco-Roman type of wrestling style of grappling and stuff. And there's a bunch of other ones. I remember the person who seen a Sasquatch lifting up rocks and heavy rocks and stuff, and looking for what he assumed was rodents and stuff. And of course, the Ape Canyon story was in that book, and really just at that age put the nail in the coffin of intrigue. And all right, I'm just still waiting on this last little thing, but pretty much that's all the videos I had, all the kind of talking points besides this last little video. I was hoping for other people to join on and bounce back off of and things like that, but it's no problem if no one wants to show up and play. It's cool. All right, give that about another 2 minutes. We'll have that up. Yep, and we need to we definitely need to do that. I remember going to different camps, school camps and stuff, and learning about how to do a compass and doing different obstacle courses and teamwork, team building exercises and canoeing and stuff, and learning how to do. Yeah, see, I think that's pretty much a normal thing in Michigan. In sixth grade, all sixth grade classes go camping somewhere, right? And we went somewhere up north, and modern humans are losing all those skills, and we're not in the woods as much as we have been since the dawn of time. So it's kind of like an unparalleled era where, we're modern, we've conquered the world, we have all this modern stuff, conveniences, but at the same time, we've left the woods, we've left the natural way of life and just attunement of things. We're not as skilled hunters. We don't know animal noises, animal calls, animal tracking. I mean, all the skills that standardized, we've just scoffed at, laughed at, say it's useless, barbaric, savage stuff that is unneeded in this modern society of ours, where factory farming and man-made chemicals have produced more diseases and cancers than anywhere else in history. But hey, at least we can sit on our asses and turn the light on, right? Which is, it's a lot better than being in the woods and getting ate up by bugs and not having any toilet paper and stuff like that, right? But we've kind of been complacent and lazy, and it shows. And so if we would travel back in time 200 years ago, 300 years ago, or anywhere past that, and had some people to Bigfoot hunt for us, they'd probably track and find the damn thing in 1 day or 2 days, or the shortest amount of time compared to what we've been trying to last 50 plus years, because of their heightened sense of attunement to nature. All right, so this video should be ready to go. Let me just get it up to StreamYard. If you guys haven't checked out Pat from Squatch Talks show, we had a pretty good discussion last couple times on the show, and his last couple shows, but his last show was the population was pretty good. You guys check that out. Nikki is not doing a show tomorrow, so no show from her. You can check out, of course, Steve Coles. I would assume is doing his show at 9. A pretty good show that I like to watch that I would recommend. Let me pull it up so I have the name correct. But my friend, good buddy Val, he co-hosts. Let me get it ready. He co-hosts the show, and I believe he's going to be back up and running with his computer all set up for tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern. And let's see, where's it at? All right, so Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Oh, actually, tomorrow it says 3 p.m. Usually the show is at 6 p.m. every Sunday. And typically when I'm driving around and stuff, I'm doing my errands on Sundays, I always like to tune in to this show, and then I'll start listening to Nikki's and pop in the chat. And of course, I'm driving around, but the channel's name is Bigfoot Outlaw Grizzly, and then the show, the name of their interview show is called The Rolling Bones. Bigfoot Sasquatch, The Rolling Bones with Grizzly and Val. Great show, ex-law enforcement officers. Great information to be had. It can be funny. It's a good time with Grizzly. You know, I've been on the show a couple times. I would recommend that. Also, Grizzly does he gets outside of Bigfoot stuff, and he does psychic cold case stuff, missing people stuff, kind of variety of stuff. He kind of has a lot of shows that he does himself. He takes a lot of time and does a lot of shows. So I would recommend you guys check that out. Check out the Rolling Bones on the Bigfoot Outlaw Grizzly channel. That is Val's a good guy and stuff. Very knowledgeable. Has the biggest database of Michigan encounters, hands down, out of anyone that I have ever seen or ever know of. Hands down, by far. And it is continuing to grow each and every week. And the numbers are 2,100 and something and more. Bigfoot encounters here in Michigan, all the way from 1600s, late 1600s, all the way to this very year. I didn't mean to do that. So you can find that and information that Val puts out on Facebook. He has the Gumshoe Guys, Bigfoot and Reports, Gumshoe Guys Corner, Bigfoot and Bigfoot Sightings and Reports, Bigfoot. Something like that. There's too many names, too many groups. Let's see what else. Let me go look at the channels. Take a look. Let me just start naming some channels, I guess. I would take a look at, Paranormal Odyssey and Sasquatch Odyssey with Wayne and Brian. They do some pretty good stuff and some level-headed guys. I would check out their Apple podcast. I think it's like Just a Bigfoot Podcast or Just Another Bigfoot Podcast, where they're like kind of off the cuff a little bit more open about stuff. I would recommend that show. Pretty good. Something to Sasquatch about. Mr. Sean, he's putting out some little bit content, a little bit more and more and more. So I think we're going to see more and more of him popping up on live streams. I'm sure he'll be doing some of his own soon. Another good person who has a interesting perspective, a kind of level-headed, common sense way about things. I think, I would say check out Gen X News and Ghostly Archives with Melissa. She is a co-host that on a show I'm a part of called The Beast System. And that is on Rumble. Beast System is on Rumble on Thursdays. We got a couple of shows lined up of some different people. They're going to be some on odd days, not Thursdays, some odd days coming up. But the Beast System, check that out on Rumble and on X. And then check out Gen X News and Ghostly Archives on X, on YouTube, on Rumble. Both good group of women who are awesome hosts and again do a variety of different stuff. And on the Beast System, we kind of talk about the kind of political conspiracies, Hollywood, Illuminati kind of stuff, the stuff that's just kind of in your face. And we kind of show examples and, talk a little bit, little conspiracy and stuff. It's sometimes it's, can be intense, and sometimes it's kind of just chill. We're just having fun throwing some stuff out there and, trying to just figure the craziness out of all this, the madness. So if you want to, are into that kind of stuff, you check that out. I'd appreciate that. Give us a comment, give us a like over there. Let Emily know that I sent you and you're hanging out and stuff. We actually just did the last show we did, last two shows, I wasn't able to make the first one, was and we're gonna have a part 3, is our clowns, or did clowns look like Nephilim, or did the Nephilim look like clowns and stuff? And then pretty interesting stuff. And we're gonna have a third show with a guest coming up that is going to be pretty interesting, I think. So I would check out Can-Am Missing Project, Missing 401, as David Politis. You might not agree with him, like him, and all that, but he does put his perspective and information in some of this missing persons cases. And even though you might disagree with on some of the aspects, some of these cases are public knowledge. You can find them and are odd and weird and are unexplained and are not normal, and I enjoy listening to some of that and hearing about some of these missing cases, especially when they happen in Michigan. I'm very intrigued about that. There are definitely some weird ones here in Michigan and a lot of states. So let's see. And just all these people are repeats. I used to enjoy watching Hiker Dave NE and stuff. I might have not always agreed on some of the stuff that was happening in his videos, but I did enjoy having seeing him out there and walking and going on his journey. I haven't really seen him post stuff in a very long time, so I hope he's doing all right, doing well, and maybe we'll see some more stuff from him. Of course, Brian and Chewy go hiking. I would suggest that. I should probably show you guys, but I'm also subscribed to a lot of different stuff that is not Bigfoot or cryptid related. Brian and Chewy go hiking, of course. Central Florida Bigfoot, subscribe to there, of course. Barry Browning, subscribe to him. We got Barry. Barry has some audio and stuff he needs to crank out, put out, I'm sure he has some stuff from 168. And you know what? You Barry, take your time, but just get them all out. I'm sure there'd be a lot of people who would be very interested to see what you got and all that. And just to see the adventures you've been on. So, some good people that got good videos like that. I think you just put it out there, Of course, watch DTV with Steve Coles. Recommend, of course, him and Bigfoot and Beyond podcast with Cliff and Bobo. I try to catch that every once in a while. I haven't been keeping up with that actually, but I do enjoy hearing Cliff's perspective and stuff, and enjoy, of course, Bobo. And I'm subscribed to a bunch of channels that I wouldn't recommend, because and there's some channels that it's some channels that I'm looking and just trying to figure the people out and see what kind of person they are, seeing if they're hoaxing or just bullshit, and because you never know and stuff. So there's there's a little few of them I could name with that. Uh, Bigfoot barbecue. If you want to learn how to cook some yummy food, or you just want to watch yummy food be made and cooked, I'd check that channel out. Uh, one channel I like is some of these like scary, interesting, and some of these horror stories or tragic accidents channels that they're talking about people who had diving accidents or lost in caves, or these crazy life surviving, or sometimes they don't survive, but some of these crazy things that people find themselves in. I really fascinated with some of those life-threatening dangerous situations that people find themselves in, because you never know what could happen when you're out in the woods. And if we're chasing a real Bigfoot, and we never know what kind of survival situation we're going to find ourselves in. Yeah, the Bigfoot Zone, ECBRO. He just put some videos out, and I'm scrolling through my thing, and I haven't seen it yet, but I know he just put something out. Bigfoot Zone, ECBRO, with Daniel Benoit, and he's been around. He actually was one of the first Bigfoot podcasts that I stumbled across and started watching, and Nikki was on the show. She'd make her guest appearance and would always be that more skeptical side of things. And Daniel had some hooligans on there, and his own drama issues, but I think he's a pretty level-headed guy who has a good approach about it. And he just tries to go out there and just film stuff and figure out what happens. He doesn't over exaggerates things, and it doesn't seem to fall on the woo side at all, and is seems to be a good, honest guy out there trying to do his thing. So I respect that, and that's what we need, is just a good, honest guy, people out there, men and women out there, just doing their thing, but just having that integrity about them. And definitely Daniel seems to have that, in my opinion. So good. Thank you for bringing that up. Thinker Thunker. Yeah. Some of the older stuff, I thought, could have been spot on, but some of the stuff is, I've definitely disagreed upon that, but gotta throw that out there. Yeah. I'm scrolling through the videos and stuff, and I should just went through like that, and it's not working. Anyways, let me get back into StreamYard. It could be someone waiting in the background, which there's not. The Beast System. The Beast System, and it has a logo of a lion and a crown, I believe. I'm not sure if Emily's changed it on there or not. Yeah, that was Daniel, the ECBRO's latest video that he just put out. That's why I remembered him. I remember seeing it, the previews of it, or something being put out, and that's why I was like, "Well, how come I'm not seeing that?" You mentioned it, but because I tried to go to like the whole list of the channel names, but for some reason on my computer, it's not popping up like it would normally give me the option to do. But Sasquatch Secrets, Nikki's show, and Brent when he does his stuff on the Tall Ones Dark, I think now. Not sure if his other channel is what's going on with his other channel, because on one of these live streams I heard him say it was he's getting bullied by YouTube and all that. All right, well. And there's a lot of videos and clips that I want to show and get ready for you guys, but I do have to put my little imagery in there to help with the copyright stuff, even though it's all free use technically. And Steve Coles did a great example and showing why and showing the laws of the right to free use and stuff, and just distribute information, to make comments and commentary on video clips for educational and well, I mainly do it for educational purposes related to Sasquatch behavior or the people in it or the issues, and a variety of different subject matters and situations that affect the Bigfoot research in the Bigfoot community and people. And so there's a whole lot of free use stuff, different stuff, animal clips, different stuff that I use that, everything should be okay. But YouTube, their policy, they believe, trumps the law on free usage. And it is something that, you have to deal with, anytime I get someone makes a complaint and copy and stuff, I usually try to fight it or something, because it is free use. It's not with the Native American stuff that they said. I was like, no, I don't give a crap. All the monetary value can be donated to them and stuff. I don't care about that. That's fine. But on a lot of this stuff, someone tried to get me for showing National Geographic's Igor clip where he's in Russia and they're showing some family in Russia talking about Bigfoot and stuff. I showed that clip in some channel on here through a copyright claim, said it was theirs. And I wrote a big ass paragraph explanation to YouTube and said, this is a 10-year-old plus clip from National Geographic that was aired on live TV. It's definitely not from this guy. So they fixed that. But it's that kind of bullcrap where they could be like, well, no, they feel, and YouTube policy says, well, we feel like it's his. So, and there's not really many options for you to contest that sort of stuff. I have YouTube and even Facebook, used to, I would post to all these, 300 plus groups, and YouTube would flag me for spam, and I would write a big old paragraph, and then shortly, a little bit later, it'd be fixed. And then now they don't even give you an option to respond. They don't give you any option to write back. No, they eliminated that, because I would write I would write two big ass paragraphs into one and send it, and a full explanation of why I'm doing it, and why would you allow people to join hundreds of different groups and be able to share in the hundreds of different groups if we're not actually going to be able to be allowed to do that. And if all we're sharing is relative information that isn't spam, that all the people comment, like, and even say we want more of, please keep sharing, then how is it, Facebook, that you would limit me or other people doing that, making those groups thrive and grow and flourish like they're supposed to, like you kind of wanted, right? So they got rid of that option. I know it wasn't because of just me, but sometimes I feel like it was just because of me, because when I'm getting that spam report, it's like, oh, I can't fix it. I can't do nothing. I just, you got to wait the timer out, and it's like 12 hours. And it's like, okay, well, it's bullshit. Yep. I do miss Carrie Arnold, Bigfoot Odyssey show. I miss just him organizing things like a boss. He was a really good figure to gather people together, and people would listen. Like he's a boss figure, who could just do that, and that's why the 168 was a pretty good success. And you had a big group of people wanting to respond and go to it. And I do miss his show and stuff. I actually have found myself watching a little bit of it, of random shows on Bigfoot Odyssey. And it sucks not having him around, because he was I think someone who could have really helped pave the way and help pave that road so we could roll that ball down the field, because he was making things happen that, well, other than the LBL fiasco, Barry, that you guys have, there was a lot of people that showed up at that 125 people or plus people, 120 people plus. Yeah, no one else seems to have gathered as many people compared to Carrie and the 168. The first one, the one that I was on, and then the third one that was going to be planned. No one's organizing anything on the scale. No one's able to get all the donations and get equipment. That was one thing about Carrie, get all those donations. And he would buy the equipment, and he would show you the equipment, and he would go out and he would fucking use that equipment. And, and when it was done, whether you agreed on it or not, he gave and donated that equipment to researchers that he felt would be better use than him having it. Because, he wasn't a researcher, especially after the 168, the second one, he still wasn't a researcher doing all that. It wasn't until the last couple months that Carrie was full blown I'm going in the woods, or being out there by himself with Mark Zasky, and they're having activity and Mark's somewhere else. Carrie finally got comfortable enough. He was out there by himself and probably was in need of some of that equipment, because, he's finally out there doing it. But that was the one thing about Carrie, organize everyone to come together, and we would want to bust our ass for him, but for everyone. Hey, check out Abnormal Investigations. That's another channel that they got some pretty interesting stuff and some good live shows. And check out Wide Open Adventures, which is another channel. It's kind of a sister channel from Abnormal Investigations, actually. And it's all about wide open adventures in the outdoors, fishing, country life. It's actually little boys hunters channel and stuff. And so show them support. They need a lot of support over there. You'll find out why when you go over there. But go social support with that if you want to see some good country fun, living, hanging out, some of the stuff I want to get my boy out to do. And so they need some help growing that channel. I would suggest to go over there, Wide Open Adventures, I believe the name of the channel is, and just subscribe to there, because we're gonna have a cool, awesome little dude come back, be running that channel here in a couple short time. And it'd be a really big gift to him to have all that support there when he's back. And I think it's cool and stuff, so I support it and stuff. So I would appreciate it if everyone else does that too. Yeah, no one's perfect. You are all human. That's the good thing about being human, and God and stuff too, is you can fall, you can sin, you can be in some bad places, but being human means to get back up on your feet, to stand up like a man, and you never give up and you keep trying. And through that redemption, even that faith, never giving up, but just having faith, even though we fall, that's how men become real men, and we survive. And that's actually how, you get saved and stuff, because we're not perfect. Everyone sins and has demons and has issues, and that's why we all need Christ in our life. That's why, there's a lot of mysteries out there we just can't fathom and understand about a lot of things. And I really always try to seek the truth and stuff. And I think the truth, the way, and the life is through God and through Christ and stuff. And that permeates throughout all of the universe and life. And I really have to say thank you to God for how my life's been the last couple months, how life's been amazing. I will say, honestly, 110%. Prayers do work. That if you are struggling and you need prayers, you keep praying and praying and praying, and it will work out. You just have to have faithful patience, and you will be okay. And I am living that right now in the most unbelievable way with some very special person and special people in my life. And I got to express that, guys. So I definitely, whatever it is you're struggling with, throw it to God, pray to God, give it to him to handle. And trust me, it's going to work. It might not be easy, You might get a little wet. That water might get up a little bit, but you're not going to drown, okay? You might get a little cold out there, but you're not going to freeze to death, right? Might get a little warm, might get super hot, but you're not going to burn to death, okay? You might start feeling some of that stuff, but you're in good hands, okay? So have faith. And I wanted to say that because I've been feeling it a lot lately, and I wanted to express that because I feel it. I have to. I want to. I've been happy, and that is the number one reason that everything is going great now. So yeah, I'm happy, excited. Everything is going 100% so much better in different ways and unbelievable ways. So let's see what else. I mean, because I'm pretty much done at this point. We're almost at 2 hours in. I'm gonna probably shut the show down here about 10 minutes because I kind of like the 2 hour shows. Anything longer than that, it seems like majority of the people don't ever finish watching and stuff. It's all good because it's not many shows that I would listen to 4 hours and stuff myself. So I don't blame you guys. I don't have no hard feelings and stuff. But a nice 2 hour show, I pop it in when you're taking a drive, you're at work or something, pop in the headphones, you're doing something you don't need to pay attention to as much stuff sometimes at work, But mainly when I'm driving or doing other stuff, or I'm working on the computer, or I'm mainly doing road trips and driving and stuff. I'm constantly listening and stuff. So I might pop into chat, especially if during the midday stream and stuff. I'll pop into chat, but I'm busy doing other stuff and usually can't comment. Well, I think that's probably about it. Oh, we're going to be having the conference here set up by next week. I mean, I could pay for it now and have everything set up, but I'll wait an extra week. So yeah, thanks. Thanks for coming on and voicing your opinion. And the link is in chat. I'll throw it in chat one more time for someone else to come on and join if they want to chat. We got good 10 solid minutes and could go even more, of course. I am in Michigan, state of Michigan. I am in Lower Michigan. Hanging out. Try to go out, but I've got some good distractions going on, so I want to joke like the worst thing a bachelor Bigfoot researcher can encounter, right, is the worst distraction that he could have as a bachelor researcher is finding a nice girlfriend that I want to spend my time with. So been a little distracted lately. I would just have to say I wasn't in the woods this weekend, but I'm definitely gonna get in some of the woods here pretty soon. Gonna get the audio recorder out, do some passive stuff. Got some camping trips planned. Got some stuff with a different group. We gotta get a hold of the boys. We gotta get the Lost Cryptids camp out going. Got to figure out where we're gonna go. Got a couple places. We might make it a road trip. We might make it somewhere local. I know we got a place in Kentucky that we're gonna go. We have Emily. We're gonna pretty much invited us to go crash at her place, and they got some squatchy areas by her, not too far from her, that we got in Kentucky to go check out. Hopefully this summer, maybe the fall. I don't know. Might be a good road trip. I appreciate you, Robert Dendoven. I appreciate you coming on. And don't worry about it. Well, I'll miss you in the live chat, though. Yeah, I hope everyone has a good rest of the week and does fun stuff that they want to do and have always wanted to do, if you got little fun, nerdy hobbies, don't be afraid to go have fun. Don't be afraid to tell people about them, Don't be afraid to tell people about the Bigfoot you go looking for every once in a while. You might strike up some stories, some encounter stories. You might make up meet someone who's intrigued, and then you start their journey on this Bigfoot mystery. Hopefully you steer them towards the light side of things. Oh, that reminds me. Did we not my phone? Let me check, because I'm pretty sure there's a video that is there was a video that is trying to slip in between the cracks, I think. And there's a bunch of stuff I didn't have time to do. More images of fake stuff. Maybe it didn't. No. Maybe I'm just not thinking correctly. Yeah, whatever. It is fine. We got a bunch of pictures of some zoomed in cropped up stuff that I didn't get to, but that's okay. Yep, great places in Kentucky to go. A lot of great places. But we're going to do the conference. I'll be next show, I would hope to say. No guarantees. We're going to drop the conference information and the dates and the location, and we'll be dropping the link for the tickets online that you can buy. $30 online, $35 at the door. Of course, there's a limited amount of tickets, but there should be enough that it shouldn't run out. But at the same time, if it runs out, then I will let you guys know, and you guys cannot buy at the door, obviously. But and we're gonna, of course, got to get the date set up first before I start talking to speakers and having commitments being made. So, got to actually work on speakers and all that kind of a thing. And it might be a little bit of a rush. We only got a couple months, I think, before it's going to be here. So, but I think we're going to have another good turnout and stuff, and going to be bigger than last time, and something that's going to be annually growing and and besides the conference, it's going to be a great opportunity to go camping with us, as we're going to go. We're going to be camping in a pretty good area that maybe some things will happen. And if you're there with us, then you can witness it alongside of us. But we're going to be at a camping spot. You guys can just hang out and camp. You guys don't even have to go in the woods with us. It's just if you're not able to physically or don't want to or for whatever reason, we are going to have some camping spots. I'll have some information on that also, where you guys can call and book a camping site. And we're going to have a couple sites. And, if it, we'll be able to squeeze some people in there. So there should be some room, even if it fills up. So I've already talked to the owner and stuff, and he had no problem the last time. And was pretty intrigued having the Bigfoot people out there and stuff. So we're going to do that again this year, and going to be fun. And, I can't wait. Good luck to everyone who's going to the Ohio Bigfoot Conference. Or was it this weekend? Next weekend? It's coming up soon. Sometime. Hopefully it was fun if it already happened, or hopefully it's going to be fun if it's next weekend or whatever. I still have yet to go, and I swear every single time there's it's just never the perfect time for me to go to that one. But maybe next year, maybe we'll, and James and Tyler, they go. I'm not sure if they're going this time. But they make an appearance down in the Ohio Bigfoot Conference. They're hanging out, walking around and stuff, and they usually go camping at an undisclosed location, wherever. Sometimes they drove kind of far, even farther from Salt Fork too. So yeah. So that's about it. 2 hours hit the mark. No one else wants to play. Come on, jump. No one wants to fight, as Josh Wolf Turner likes to say. No one wants to fight. No one wants to go to war, as if, it mattered that much that you could affect someone so badly that they felt like it was going to be war. Pretty preposterous. But, well, I think I'm going to stay up, and I should stay up and stuff, and I got a couple of different things I need to do. I got a book that was recommended to me to read, and I should work on the compilation video. I should get some sleep. Yeah. Appreciate everyone coming out and stuff. I always love everyone in chat. Even if there's no one in chat, I'd still be up here talking and shooting the shit and everything, and doing my thing. And giving my opinions, ranting and raving, whether you agree or not, finding me annoying. I appreciate everyone taking their time, listening, thinking. And the biggest thing is I just want you guys to think for yourselves. Think for yourselves, common sense, have integrity, don't fall for the bullshit. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, come on, man. Like, it's time to get out of this rut that we're in, this plateau, the Bigfoot world, of this wall. We need to, either blast through the wall, go over the wall, go around the wall, or dig the fuck to China underneath of it. But we got to get past it somehow, right? We got to do some unorthodox ways of thinking, of doing things outside the box. We got to do that. This is the moment where we can't do the same thing that we've been doing for the last 50 years. And we also can't let the fantasy narrative craziness side dictate and rule and become the majority. We can't let that, because that's going to steer people away from the whole subject. And also it's going to lead people right to that arena, and good-minded, brilliant people who we need over here to help us brainstorm, instead of over there being locked in the cult, drinking the Kool-Aid. We need some of those people over here to brainstorm with us to figure out these new ideas, new approaches, new understandings to make it just click, you know. So we can't alienate everyone, but we need to really just focus on steering them over here and going about it the right way. So I appreciate everyone joining the show. God bless each and every one of you. I appreciate you guys joining the show. I recommended all the shows that we did talk about. Everyone in chat, if they got shows and talk and channels and stuff, go subscribe to them. Give them support, give them some love and all that. If you guys have any evidence or recommendations, comments, concerns, stuff like that, you can email me right there at blake.442dodge@gmail. And I will try to answer you right away whenever. Sometimes I take a few days to check the email, but I always check it and will respond to you. So with that, I'm going to, like Jeff says, I'm going to land this plane. Try not to crash land it. And try to have some more videos cranked out. But, like I said, I think I have a pretty good distraction excuse. The worst kind Bigfoot researcher can get, it seems like. And the best kind. But, be on the lookout for more content from stuff. And if you guys want to come on the show and tell your encounters or just a one-on-one conversation show, email me. Jump on the link, don't be afraid. You don't have to show your face. You don't have to feel like, you have to be incognito. You don't even have to put your name. Just put whatever. So just put it out there. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your family. Love yourselves. Love your family. Take care of everyone. Do good things. Try to help people more, especially when it's not going to, take any sweat off your back. There's little things that don't take much energy that everyone could do that would make the world a better place. So smile, be happy, be grateful, be thankful, have faith, pray, have patience, and leave it all to God, people. So we'll see you on the next time.